Welcome to part 3, finishing off the video game promotional cards from the Duel Monsters era. The power of chaos is back for revenge, specifically Kaiba the Revenge. Like Yugi the Destiny having Dark Magician, there is Kaiba's signature monster, the Blue Eyes White Dragon. This monster is a crowd favorite and even won world championships that one time. The other two promos are interesting. Aqua Chorus is a card that you might have to read a few times, and I am going to do my best. If there exist 2 or more monsters with the same name on the field, those monsters gain 500 attack and defense. This, of course, is me paraphrasing the text, but I think it is good for problem solving. I guess this is a Harpy Lady support card? Or something? This might be worse than the Seal of Orichalcos. Plus, it affects your opponent's monsters as well. Seal of the Ancients is the last card for this game. Paying 1,000 life points for information is worth it in my opinion, but 1,000 life points and a card is not worth it. This card reminds me of a man with Wajat, but the best version of this card is probably in the form of the skill card Mind Scan, which is more limited in scope, but does not lose card advantage. Joey the Passion is the last in the Power of Chaos trilogy, and again features Joey's signature card, the Red Eyes Black Dragon. If Blue Eyes represents power, and Red Eyes represents the potential, I suspect that Red Eyes will be good one day. Sebek's Blessing is based on another Egyptian god like Ra. This card gives your monster lifelink or life store, retroactively. This card is almost a reprint of Enchanted Javelin, but is a turn faster since it is a quick play spell, but at the downside of being very limited in its actual effect. Also, I just want to point out that the wiki has this as the official picture for Enchanted Javelin, which makes me think that the card is properly obscure, and this wasn't intended to be a functional reprint. Sword of Dragon Soul is warrior support, giving a warrior-type monster a respectable 700 attack points. But it is also an anti-dragon tech card, because at the end of the battle phase, it destroys the dragon regardless of the result of battle, which in the grand scope of the game is okay, but very on point for a Joey card. Capsule Monsters is an area of Yu-Gi-Oh! That I will cover one day, but not today. Abyss Soldier is excellent, which might be surprising. The card was even limited for a while because it was such a good disruption tool. In the era, Sinister Serpent was the go-to discard fodder, but I want to point out that the card fits well into a Mermail deck, with Dragoons being an excellent discard target. Inferno Hammer has excellent art, and the conditional Book of Moon effect might make the card slightly better than Eames the Infinity, at least. Teva has potential, and I mean that sincerely. In OTK formats, this card buys a turn by removing the battle phase. I would say it is not as good as One Day of Peace, but since that card is limited, Teva could be a useful tech card. 7 Trials of Glory World Championship 2005 is a game I played recently, but I think that the copy I bought was secondhand and therefore did not come with this set of cards, which is a bummer. Silent Swordsman level 7 has a lot of the same problems as Metal Zoa. Necessary support is not included alongside it, and there is a terribly clunky way to special summon it from the deck. I plan on doing a more detailed video on level monsters later, but they generally have decent to good effects, balanced by being delayed a turn or 2. Silent Swordsman level 7 stops spell cards, but Spell Canceller or even Mechanical Hound are more convenient. Kaiba Man is Blue Eyes support, and is now outclassed by Maiden with the Eyes of Blue, but for its time, it was okay. Last for this game is Mind Control. Mind Control is not as good as Brain Control, or at least the old Brain Control, but the card continues to get better and better as new summoning mechanics are released. Since the monster which you take can be used for fusion, synchro, Xyz, and even link material now. I imagine this card will be banned soon. The last game I am going to be covering is Nightmare Troubadour, and that name has such a nice ring. Silent Magician level 4 and level 8 go together, which is already a lot better than the Silent Swordsman level 7. Silent Magician level 4 gains a spell counter each time the opponent draws a card, gaining attack for each spell counter. Then, the turn after the 5th spell counter is accumulated, it upgrades into the level 8 Magician. This is super cumbersome, and can even be on the level of perfectly ultimate Great Moth in some cases. They even have the same attack points, but the Moth has 2,000 more defense points. Silent Magician level 8 is unaffected by your opponent's spell cards, which is a marginal upside. I just don't see it. Magician Circle is a pretty good tutor, special summoning a spellcaster type monster from each player's deck, which can have the ability to disrupt cards like Magician of Faith. But I can see so much more potential in the card. I couldn't find any good lockdown spellcaster monsters which fit the criterion, like how Jinzo works well with Psychic Shockwave, but at the very least, it can tutor out specific combo pieces, or push damage in the battle phase. It can even fetch Silent Swordsman level 4, so that's an upside. It is fun looking back at where all these cards came from, as well as learning about the regional differences, and I hope this series helps you to appreciate an aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh! Which is slowly disappearing because of digital distribution. I will pick up with the GX era later, but for now, here is sort of an endorsement for which Yu-Gi-Oh! Games are worth buying factory sealed.